Welcome
Why so dramatic?
It's live.
into the Ringerverse. We are live. This is the first. Hey, give it up, everybody. This is the first
Yeah.
time the Midnight Boys have been going live. I just let you guys know that normally we introduce the collective too, but they don't want to do live. They're too afraid. They're not on mic.
Wait,
today.
seriously? Was that what y'all were discussing while I was out here?
Yeah. This is the Nexus Podcast. Feed for all things fam. We are Steve the Architect, Almond, the builder, taker of things. We are Jomi the Explainer, Dinneron. You've got questions, he's got answers. We are Old Man Van, he of the receding, resurgent hairline. We are Coke, Baby Chuck, 24 karat closer. Together we are known as the Midnight Boys. Now the collective is with us today. I want to make sure that we always acknowledge the collective. We got Corey.
Music man.
Music man is what I said?
Yes.
I'm coming back from Vegas. Alea, no nicknames in theirs. And Old Man Isaiah.
Where's the flask, Isaiah?
Isaiah doesn't have the flask. Boy, let me tell you something right now. If anybody from Clutch is watching this, Isaiah was going crazy on Bronny James. It seemed like a personal vendetta.
I mean, he was like, Jaylen Brown, not only did Jaylen Brown have a point, he's never been more right in his life. And frankly, he should get the medal, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Jaylen Brown did just have a point. He had about 20 points sitting next to him in that
10.
We got to talk about
This
it.
is
Acolyte.
live.
young women.
Okay.
Jaylen Brown.
Not even 5 minutes in, guys.
Yeah.
Not even
Okay.
5 minutes.
Good for him. He's doing well. Jaylen Brown is doing well.
He can't make the
We
NBA.
not.
He can't make the Olympic team, though.
He got, yeah. All right. Follow us on socials. Insta, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok for now. Save Jomi's job. Jomi, socials.
Dude, I mean, this is a social ever get. We're live. We're on YouTube. People can comment. They can interact with us. This is cool as hell.
All right, let's not slob on the knob on live.
See, no,
Like,
you
let's-
can't. I really do hate
We're on
y'all.
live. It's fine. It's fine.
We can't. See, you. That's how I know hating is deep in your heart. I try to show love to the fans. Hey,
Yes.
we live. We out here. We having a good time. And you mad?
Wait a minute. Are we able to keep up with what the fans are doing?
Yes.
Real time.
Are you keeping
I
up?
can pull it up right now.
Pull it up because I want to know. I want to be able to say, put stuff in the chat. I've never been able to say that before. W's in the chat for the Midnight Boys. W's in the chat for the Midnight Boys, and see if they do it.
Look,
They put.
Yeah.
Did they put them?
Corny. Look, Joey D36 said I was corny. Look, I'm doing my job.
Wait.
He is.
Oh, they put the W's in the chat. Oh, that's the first time I ever did that. I've seen people do that before. I never seen it. Oh, okay. Okay. We're now on YouTube. You can watch every Midnight Boys House of R. Talk to Thrones episodes on YouTube YouTube.com/@Ringerverse. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, tomorrow, you guys, Ringerverse will be live at the El Rey Theater this summer in LA. We'll be there on July 17th. That's tomorrow. Chuck, you're excited about that, my friend?
I am excited.
Chuck is ready to go. Check out ringer.com/events for more info. Every Tuesday and Thursday, House of R will deep dive into the House of the Dragon and the Acolyte. Every Monday, the Midnight Boys will give you their reactions, our reactions on Hot D. And Thursday, we'll be back for the Boys Season 4 finale. Chuck.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Oh no, we're not doing this on the boys.
Yeah, I got to give you what just real quick. I need a pre-Chuck. All right.
Chuck check-in.
You know, all after this episode of the Acolyte, all the boys needs to do is just trip over the bar.
There you go.
So
Okay.
Every Sunday, Talk to Thrones will be up right after the latest episode of Hot D ends. I gotta tell you guys something that I did. Oh wow! I didn't mean to do that.
Here we go. That's
So
like
look,
it's old right now.
So look. Here's the deal. When I was in Vegas this past weekend, I have this thing. I like to listen to bedtime stories to take me to sleep. Now,
Sure.
you
Yeah.
guys, we talked about this, the bedtime stories.
Mhm.
I came across this one YouTube site called Video Books. It has an 11-hour and 38-minute
Oh yeah.
full history of the entire house of the Targaryens.
Wow.
Targaryens, whatever. I was listening to it. It was fantastic. They got some stuff going on. We haven't even scratched the surface about what we could do with these blonde psychopaths.
What happened to the YouTube dude you were listening to who was talking about the fucking Galactic Republic?
You went too far.
All right,
Because so let me say something real quick, and we'll get into the show. The thing about YouTube is when you follow YouTubers,
yeah,
you always get too into their lives in a way,
yeah.
Ooh.
you know, and then they start beefing with each other. Every once in a while, you'll
There's
be
YouTube star beef?
oh my god,
Dude, are you kidding me?
Literally every month, nothing makes me feel older than finding out some YouTuber that I've never heard of did something horrible and they have a bajillion followers.
I'm like watching one of my favorite YouTubes is a YouTube called The Modern Martial Artist. The guy's really good at breaking down boxing and stuff. One day I look on his page and he's just talking shit about another YouTuber.
And
I want to let you know that what left hook uppercut said about me isn't true. And it's like, and so when that happens, I normally peel back for it. I want to get too into it.
Sure.
All right,
We'll
let's go
be
ahead
doing
and
that soon
go
enough. If we get to it.
Spoiler warning for all Star Wars content.
All Star Wars books too.
All Star Wars books too. Oh, I gotta say something real quick. People were mad at me because I got something wrong. Okay. The Great Hyperspace Disaster is canon. That wasn't from Legends. I apologize. I just want to say something. Y'all have to be so mean about it.
You don't have to be mean.
I made a mistake. Everybody was like, Van is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm sorry, guys. I say a lot of words, thousands of words. All right. Spoiler warning. Steve, give it to me. We're getting ready to talk about the Acolyte. You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming. All right, to begin our reactions, we again bring you the Midnight Manifest to put you in the know. The only way to do that is, of course, the manifest. The only person that can do that is Chuck Wagon. Let's go.
All right, this is your Midnight Manifest.
Live.
Acolyte, directed by Hanel Culpepper, written by
Bitch.
Jason McAuliffe. Would you guys stop?
What?
You guys
You're
are like
doing it-
little kids.
You're doing it
at
live.
fucking
You're
kindergarten. You're
please,
staring. I know
you're
you don't
you're
stare.
doing it live.
Usually, you guys are like looking at your phones. Don't stare at me.
We can't
No,
do that
you're
now,
doing it
Jason.
live. I want to see if
Live.
you can get through it.
Stop.
You're doing it live.
Stop looking at me.
Okay.
Anyway. Yo, after having a vision of May killing Soul, Osha and Kamir go to Brendock to stop her. Soul chases May on Brendock, claiming that he can finally prove to the Jedi that the virgins on the planet is real. Kamir finds Soul, and the two engage in a lightsaber fight where Soul is ultimately victorious.
That's crazy.
Meanwhile, May confronts Osha and tries to tell her the truth about what happened on Brendock when they were children. After a scuffle, May escapes and stops Soul from killing Kamir, and in the process, gets Soul to admit that he killed the sister's mother in front of Osha. Osha takes Soul's lightsaber, bleeds his kyber crystal, and force chokes him to death. Osha and May run away to the tree, which is revealed to be the virgins. Kamir finds the sisters, and Osha agrees to be his pupil if he lets May go, but the Sith Master has to wipe May's memories of her sisters so the Jedi cannot track them. Vernestra and a group of Jedi track Soul to the planet and find May alone with her memory wiped, and Vernestra reveals what Soul did to the Senate and Master Yoda, while Kamir, Osha, and seemingly Darth Plagueis hide for now. And that's been your Midnight Manifest.
Give it up for Charles and
There you
Midnight
go, man.
Manifest.
Episode
Under
ended like
duress.
10
Under
minutes ago.
duress.
He's on the money.
All right, so look, this is what we're gonna do real quick. Just open it up. Whoever, just go.
No, because you know what?
No,
No, I want to paint the picture.
you want to
Because we just watched this
we
at
just saw it.
Spotify Studio, and what did I say before we leave? Just because we're live doesn't mean y'all should lie.
I'm not.
So be honest. Be honest.
So real quick. This is you're cooking things a little bit. You're cooking the books.
Yeah.
Nobody's planning on lying, but what you're doing is what you're saying now is that if there is a chance that somebody liked the episode, that they are being untruthful about it, and I don't think that that's true necessarily.
All right.
Yeah.
So while
I just think that at this point in American history, we need to be honest with the electorate, okay, about the issues that are facing us.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that's the truth about what happened on this series finale.
give it to us then. Go ahead.
I think the Acolyte in totality is everything that I love and loathe about modern Star Wars. I think if we're talking about positives, there were moments in this episode where I'm like, why didn't why didn't someone sooner think about like, oh, we're gonna do Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with Jedi? That's dope. That's amazing. I've been waiting my entire life to see someone bleed a kyber crystal in live action. Fucking shit is dope. If that was Darth Plagueis, I'm like, oh man, hell yeah, whatever. But story-wise, what was this? Soul was like a completely different character. It was just like we had started seeing his turn maybe to the dark side or him being conflicted, but it was like I was watching a completely different character who's doing just dumb shit left and right. None of the stories seemed to congeal. Even the reveal that Vernestra was Kamir's master seemingly came out of nowhere. There was just all of this. We've talked about this a bunch now. These Disney Plus shows seem like they don't really have a handle on what they're doing. And then once we get to the finale, they're just rushing. And part of me was like, why didn't we get all of this in the middle of the season? Because we got a lot of interesting things, but by the end, I feel they just dumped it on their laps and like, be happy, bye.
Fellas?
I like this episode of television. I think the stuff that it did well, it did really well. And the stuff that's been plaguing it the entire series reared its ugly head again.
Yeah.
Like the action, of course, was awesome. The Kimir and Soul fight was great.
Amazing.
That's
Right.
just like that's what it means. And then all the Ocean May stuff, especially toward the end, you're kind of like, all right, guys, like what's happening? I'm confused. You're confused. I'm confused.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a lot of cool moments.
Sure.
That overall don't amount to anything that's worth being like, man, the entire thing was cool.
I would have to agree. I would also piggyback to that and say that I wish the show was more aware of the better ideas that it had, because every time I see a flicker of that, especially in this finale, I got to be like, oh my God, where was this enthusiasm? Where was this great momentum earlier on in the season, or like at least paid off in a better way?
Yeah.
Because all of these things, these small things in a vacuum, ideas, not exactly fully executed, but I enjoyed, and like everything on paper could work, but it didn't.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I liked this finale. I did quite a bit. But after a season of a lot of ups and downs, it kind of just careened off and landed the plane just barely to me.
I had a eureka moment. Eureka.
Mm-hmm.
We kept saying throughout the season that the show needed to do more. It actually needed to do less.
Probably. You could be
The
right.
show needed less characters. We haven't thought about Yord or the little girl with the
dude who was
the horns.
got his
We
neck
haven't thought
broke.
about what was the little girl with the horns name? Jackie. We haven't thought about Jackie. The dead. His deal. One of these most standout shows, one of those standout scenes in this entire show is him fighting all those Jedi.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can make an argument you didn't need that.
That's crazy.
So listen to me. Okay. So I think the real problem to me in the show is not the ideas. It's the selection of the ideas and the melding of them.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's 2 or 3 shows happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they didn't tell one of those stories.
Mhm.
If they'd have told a story where it's May and Osha trying to find out that they're actually the same person created by this incredible act of the Force,
Mhm.
and you have masters on each side
Mhm.
trying to pull them and use them for what you need them for, that would have been fantastic. It would have been smaller,
Yeah.
but it would have been full of
Mhm. You
opportunities.
can make
to
that richer. You can
explore
mine that
right?
or a bit more.
Yeah.
But we got Yord, we got big, huge things. Like the guy, the senator that shows up here
Mhm.
Why did he show up in the
in the last
episode?
episode. Like in the last episode of the show, that backdrop of the Jedi suppressing this because they're under scrutiny from the Senate is incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
Right. And so if that had come earlier, that would have given you some more tension as to why they're moving the way that they're moving. But that time was used up with May going back, killing all the Jedi from the incident on Brendok, which at the end of the day, guys, didn't mean very much in this show.
Right.
Not at all.
Like,
at
like,
least- but if it was, but like again, if you change gears, if you like switch the focus of the show over to a Jedi like Soul, who's very emotional, seemingly beloved by his pupils and all those things, who loses control, does a terrible thing, makes a terrible mistake, and then dedicates his whole life to trying to amend that mistake to the one person that he owes that to, or he feels that he owes that to, and having to confess that terrible thing to his student. That's a compelling show too. But again, it's so many, it's getting pulled in so many directions that it's not focused enough. For
so when I looked at it, I was like, oh, well, the things that the show does are they're really cool. It does cool stuff, but it didn't tell a cool story. It does cool stuff. Like the show you're looking at it's almost like a Zack Snyder movie. Like there's cool stuff happening.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I could tell you on some Zack's that's some cool stuff.
No, yeah,
The
yeah.
Batman driving around in the Batmobile.
I'll tell you what,
killing
machine gun,
67 people. Batman in the little
warehouse. Oh man,
Oh,
great.
Batman in the warehouse.
Yes.
Stop.
It's
Oh,
Stop bringing up the warehouse.
That was great.
scene.
No,
That's
that
fire.
was great.
It's not
Okay,
fun.
let me ask you a
Come
question.
on, you
So
can't
didn't
say-
like the Batman in
I
the
did,
warehouse
but that's the only y'all just like, yo, but the warehouse scene. All right, a movie's more than one scene.
I know, but
I
if you
understand
have
this
one
movie,
scene,
the warehouse scene.
Can we get back to
Can I say that it was dope?
It was dope.
You like it?
Mhm.
Why is it so hard? Why do you hold in the what they say in Wolf of Wall Street? Why do you hold it in? You hold in the positive things. Let it out. You like the warehouse scene. You like Batfleck. Say it.
Mhm.
Anyway. Question. You have Amanda Steinberg.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's playing Ocean May.
Did not work.
No. And
Yeah,
that's okay.
Let me
That's
tell you what I'm.
okay.
I am so happy that they just didn't do the Tyler Durden thing and realize that was one actual full person.
That would have been really hard.
That would have
considering
been bad, and I'm
all
very
this
glad that didn't
stuff
happen.
going on,
I was
yeah.
very afraid that it was.
So look, you guys. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. In society right now, a lot of it's about picking teams.
Okay.
Sure.
And you don't want to be on the bad team.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, I know where this is going.
But the performance didn't work. And if that's the performance that had to anchor the show, that's probably it worked better towards the second half of this episode.
But it wasn't. I'll say this: it wasn't on Amanda. Like it. What they did.
I don't think so. I've seen her in a bunch of things. She's really good. But
The story did not give her anything to do.
May is not nearly as developed as a character as Osha actually is, because May more or less feels incidental to what actually happens with her sister. Like every single time that anything important would seem to happen, it's because of Osha and not May. After the switch happens from master to apprentice to when she goes off with the stranger and begins her seduction and training, May completely feels incidental to all of this, and only to get the confession out of Soul is really all that we have.
Yeah, what was May's purpose? I mean, I know why she was there,
but it only was a thin purpose to offset for what that.
It's kind of like who
was.
you were talking about with the boys last episode, where you need characters to do this and serve the purpose. May, that's what ultimately it felt like May was there for, just to have Osha be like, oh, I had a sister, oh, she died, oh, she's back. Like she just was there for plot reasons. Like what did May gain from this? Right?
I feel like most of the characters were that. Like Kamir is the standout character.
Yes.
Manny was the standout performance. By the end of this episode, I'm like, what was his deal? What was he doing? Like, he almost was sidelined in a lot of ways.
In the finale, he definitely was.
And I was just like, it almost just kind of felt like he was no, besides the fight and everything, just story-wise. I was like, why is he here? What is he doing? Yeah. They're revealing this connection that he has to Vernestra at the last minute. And I'm just playing back. All right, why is he killing the Jedi? Why does he want Osha so much? When you put the Plagueis shit in there, my mind starts, but to me, that's almost a more interesting show than what we got. And that's also kind of a damning thing, where I was just like, the minute you weren't focusing on Manny and everything that was going on with the Sith, I was like, who fucking cares?
It's actually kind of nuts how the show without Manny is I don't want to say one of the worst Star Wars shows you've ever seen. That's not fair, but legitimately dull and boring and just completely forgettable.
I wouldn't entirely say that.
I would say that. I absolutely would.
What are we talking? Really?
Be for real.
Be
so for real right now.
I think at least as far as the turn from Soul near the end here was compelling to me. I found Soul to be a very interesting character that not fully executed on like in the best way.
Yeah.
But I think that the idea of somebody who is like genuinely like affectionate and nice and wholesome and very in touch with his emotions to the detriment of being a Jedi, that he turns into something that is actually really, really bad.
That's actually a good point.
Now, hold on. I have to call out the elephant in the room here.
Boy. Soul's got a weird case.
Steve has compassion for the backstory of a cop that's seen himself. Steve is probably looking at the GoFundMe. Oh, the guy didn't mean it.
I am not donating to Soul's GoFundMe.
The guy didn't mean it.
Here's the thing.
He's $10 for so that the left can't come after the police in this country.
Is there a Jedi thin blue line?
Vernestra did the nasty shit. Whereas, like, you got the white serial killer, they're like, he was a compassionate man. He loved his family and his kids. He just did a wrong thing. And I was like,
what do you think the picture they put on like space Twitter was?
Oh, God.
Is
It's
it
Happy
like
Soul.
Then at
His graduation photo.
Then at the same time, she did some typical dirty cop shit.
Exactly.
Y'all,
God.
y'all really
that was nuts.
Look,
She almost said
like Star Wars. Look, I get it. We're supposed to look at the Jedi through different lenses. Do y'all understand what y'all doing? Y'all are destroying the Jedi. Y'all went from the Jedi being the only thing that can save the whole galaxy to they basically the LAPD in '96.
damn.
You know what I mean? You've completely destroyed the Jedi. It's crazy.
Which is interesting narratively to do.
I will say this about Soul though, and I think it is interesting how the show positions emotions and feelings, right? We're supposed to think like only dark, nasty emotions can lead you to do things awry.
Yeah.
But Soul's trying to be helpful. He's in his own way trying to be nice. Like really cares about Osha, and that leads him to a path of destruction.
And again, when he finally confesses to Osha, I got to give it up to Lee Jung Jae. He's like really, really acting his ass off with like trying to like stop justifying it to himself and just be real and be like, I fucked up. I was
watching something different. It never really got there for me.
Okay, it did for me. I think that it did for me.
It never made sense.
It was fine. I'll say this: two things. Number one, back to what'd you just say, Jomi, about
the emotions, like the dark side is always like.
I'll say something about the dark side. Almost everyone that we know, besides Palpatine, who was born bad, just born bad
from the jump.
He was from the jump. Palpatine felt that he had the Force in him, and then he goes, "Oh my God!" and he just started fucking over people. A lot of the ways that they corrupt you is by using a very close emotional connection that you have to someone.
Yeah.
That we would say was good, right? So Skywalker didn't want his mother to die. His mother died, should I say, and he didn't want his wife to die. So that emotion, that attachment that you feel, it's not, I wouldn't say it's good, but it's almost always human that they use to corrupt you. They take something that you want. I mean, obviously, in the case of Palpatine, it was just like he wanted just abject power. He just wanted to be absolute power, should I say. He wanted to have that. But a lot of the times for people that you have to, come around the back door, it's going to be something that we would think is positive. And Soul here, not just his attachment, but his guilt.
Yeah.
This is another reason why they don't want any attachment, because attachment in and of itself leads to jealousy. It leads to guilt, envy. It leads to ambition. It leads to all of these things that, if channeled right, can be great things. But for someone that you don't want to feel too passionate about something and give over to the dark side, it almost always corrupts.
I mean, but isn't that what the Senator, and this is why I feel like the Senator character did not work, but it illuminated a lot about what the series was trying to do, is that, like, the Senator even says it, like, you guys run away from your emotions. You say that you can control them and all this stuff, and that even in itself is a fallacy. If you look at pretty much everything that's happened in Star Wars, it's because the Jedi don't really accept their emotions. It's because they try to run away from it that they end up.
Give me an example of that.
So Obi-Wan Kenobi, pretty much through the entire prequels, his relationship with Anakin is so fraught because he can never really have the important conversations with him. Like, he tries to, especially in those movies, but it's just like there's that jealousy, there's that not measuring up, where it's just like,
you think Kenobi is jealous of Skywalker?
No. I think Anakin
Okay.
is jealous of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Certainly, yeah.
And in a lot of ways. And instead of them ever having that conversation, like Qui-Gon could have that conversation with Anakin, but Obi-Wan was too close. They were like brothers.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of times that is what kind of we're litigating is if the Jedi are more honest with their emotions, does that make them a better force in the galaxy?
Qui-Gon was ridiculously honest. He had only one allegiance, only one thing, which was the living force, the will of the force. When the Jedi had become bureaucrats, Qui-Gon felt the calling of the living force telling him to do something, and he would even say that to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was a little bit more straight-laced.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan was a company man. He'd say Obi-Wan has much to learn of the living force. However, he's got everything he needs to become a really, really important Jedi. I think he became the most important Jedi in the history of the Jedi. At least what we've seen. I do. I think Obi-Wan Kenobi's.
Some people would say Luke.
There couldn't possibly be another podcast that references any of this.
I'm
But
just saying. Anyway, but what I'm saying is that whereas a lot of the Jedi are still slaves to their connections, I do think that what we always see is the moment that the Jedi stop being moved by the Force and the structure of the actual organization, they start to put that above everything else. That's when we start to see them fail. Like the whole thing is, to me, the whole failing of the Jedi is about them not remembering what they're doing it for. And really, when we talk about huge organizations, that's normally what we're talking about, right? The edict of the police in society is very clear: protect and serve, enforce the Constitution, enforce people's right. But when the cops start caring, I don't want to dive too deep into this. We live, we get a whole bunch of badges in the chat. When the cops start caring too much about the cops, that's actually when they start to fail.
Right.
When it becomes about their structures, their rules, how they look at things, what they think, that's when it stops becoming about the citizen, when it stops becoming about the law, when it stops becoming about protecting and serving. That's when you see them start to fail. And that's what we see.
Can I ask you this then? Yeah. Does the Yoda cameo at the end work? Because it left me with a lot of questions.
I wonder what Jomi thinks, because Jomi let out a audible groan when the Yoda thing came out.
Oh, I was not happy. I
literally looked back and you were shaking your head.
I was like, come on.
We were guys, we were this close to greatness.
No, I knew it was gonna happen.
So close.
They couldn't help themselves.
Couldn't help themselves.
Yeah,
they do it every show. They did it in you guys' beloved Andor. They gave you the Death Star at the end.
No,
Yeah,
the
but
Death Star is
building.
different.
The Death Star makes sense.
Then the Yoda.
Same fucking shit.
No,
Yeah,
no.
Wait. It's the exact same thing.
It's not.
There was no
She
reason.
didn't go, hey, Death Star, I need to talk to you.
That's exactly what they did.
No,
Are y'all?
it's Cassian Andor.
I'm about to fucking quote Clueless. Are you bitches blind?
It's different because Cassian Andor's whole thing is getting the plans for the Death Star. Like we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
tracking
And
literally.
the Jedi whole thing is that
we
Yoda
could-
is the Grand Master.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but here's why it doesn't
It's
work.
the same thing.
This is why I don't like
I'm not saying it works. I'm just saying
There's always a member berry.
they're gonna
yeah.
do that. It's a thing.
Yeah,
right?
but even story-wise. So my question is, if Yoda does know about all this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's
He's an old man. You forget. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been through a lot of
900
battles.
years,
But
He definitely got CTE. Like it's tough.
But make it make sense to me, because in the prequels, he's like, "Oh my gosh, how's this all happening?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, you had a whole
to be
Jedi."
to be fair, we don't know what he told.
What she told him, yeah.
But if
Season 2, baby.
If Yoda, but here's the thing: if Yoda is who we know he is, you know what I'm saying? You're telling me he could not sense?
Well, yeah.
Wait, you guys. Let's we gotta move Yoda's badges around. Like
Is memory not what
we do. Yoda is dope.
Okay.
He is dope, right? But
You be forgetting sometimes.
now he be forgetting sometimes. Yoda had the most powerful Sith Lord, and he took meetings with this motherfucker.
Yeah, that's true. He reached across the aisle a couple of times.
There's some gaps.
He did. He
You know
really
what I mean?
did.
There's some gaps.
He took
there.
a lot of meetings.
It's kind of like when I used to be in those meetings with Puff, and like,
No, guys,
Stop. Stop. Let's
we
just keep going.
banned.
Why would you do that?
he was right there.
You know we're live.
And I couldn't see
Dan.
him.
What would you? We don't. Oh, all right.
He was right there, and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it.
Moving on. We're
He was
going.
right
We're flowing.
there.
We're flowing. It's
Power
live.
through it.
It's live.
He
Let's
was
go.
right there, and I
Stop.
couldn't see
Stop.
it. So what I'm saying is, you know, there is something that I think we put a little bit too much on Yoda.
That's nasty cope.
This
That's
is
nasty
okay.
cope.
Whoa, all right. So let's just in this entire series, like, let's go over it. The Virgins created
Mhm.
an entire motherfucker, so an Anakin level event.
Yeah.
Right. Then you got a Sith. You got an old Padawan who washes an entire starting bench of Jedi. Just
That wasn't a
easily.
start. That was like G League starters.
Those
That
are
was-
Jedi Knights.
Those are Jedi.
Those
Knights.
are Jedi
no,
Knights.
come on.
Whoa. But if we're being clear, he was a Padawan. So when he left the Order, is like you're telling me he's now powerful enough, and like Yoda's like,
He's been being trained. He's gotten better.
to take that. All I'm saying is, if he's that powerful in the Force, don't you think that like Yoda be like, damn, there are mad disturbances going on right
okay,
now?
but to his credit, him and Palpatine was dapping each other up,
Mhm.
and he didn't sense that. So
Yeah. But here's the
Yeah.
thing: this is Yoda in his prime.
sure.
This is Yoda at the height of his powers.
But all I'm saying is, all the rest of the guys didn't see it either.
No, yeah.
Windu didn't see it. The crazy nigga with the long ass head, what's his name?
Oh, we did it in the,
Oh my God, yeah, we picked him for our basketball
Yeah,
team.
he
Star
didn't.
Wars.
He didn't see it.
No,
Like,
but also here's the thing. This is what also was bothering me about the show, about Acolyte. They was giving motherfuckers powers and taking them away. It was just like Renesha gets on the planet. She's just like,
Yario Poof.
I can
Yario
see
Poof, yeah.
everything that's
Sorry.
happened on Brendok ever. I'm like, what? Same thing with Soul. Soul can read people's minds when it's convenient across the entire planet. But
well, are you comparing Soul to the Soul of the past because he would have developed more Force powers as he became?
no. I'm more so just saying for the entire show.
Mhm.
Sometimes they're like the Jedi can read minds across the planet. They can understand shit that happened in the past just by being on this planet. All this other bullshit. But then when it's like, all right, then how is this Sith? How did no one in the entire history of all of this ever bring up Khmer?
Answer his question.
There's been very well, I can't because there's very inconsistent ways in which Jedi use and don't use the Force to detect things. Like, there's no reason that Soul shouldn't have known who May or Osha was. He should have known the difference.
But here's the thing, though.
boy.
He, at the point that he couldn't tell them apart, he was disconnected from the Force. He had given over to the darkness. Look, if y'all don't want to fucking go by the Force rules, it's the Force rules.
They make stuff up all the time. Like,
So
we're
he's
getting
out-
to the
it feels
nitty gritty.
So Soul is disconnected from the Force, so he can't read a motherfucker's mind. But this motherfucker can be the baddest Jedi and take out Khmer.
But
What do you
okay,
mean?
Which one is it?
So here's the deal.
Wait.
Passion actually helps you fight better. Mace Windu actually taps into the dark side a little.
Yeah,
do you want to know
that's true.
Do you want to know the knowledge or not?
That's the
Mace
true.
Windu actually taps into the dark side a little bit when he's using his vape pad or whatever it is. But what I'm saying is,
I need the chat to fact check this.
what I'm saying is that seriously though, I do think that part of the reason why he couldn't, he was having trouble keeping up with who that was, is because he was a little disconnected,
And
he was feeling a lot of feelings that were cutting him off from being able to detect things in the Force.
And in that halfway episode, a lot of those red shirt Jedis were like, I don't understand how this guy fights. Like, his movements are too erratic. He's too emotional and all these, like, merely because of his fighting style, like, just took them for a ride that they couldn't.
Well, they had never seen that before.
Yeah, they'd never seen it before.
I
Like,
mean, if we're gonna be positive though, lightsaber fights in this were bananas.
They were.
They was fucking fire.
11 out of
That's-
10, every lightsaber fight in the show is incredible.
It's great.
That's actually what makes me, I think, a little bit more sad and mad, because I was like looking at the lightsaber fights. I'm like,
This one was great too.
this
finale
one was
awesome.
insane.
It's like literally one of the best lightsaber fights we've seen in Star Wars.
When he
Ever.
when he airbends those like things away, it was
Come on
great.
now.
I'll tell you
so
something.
good.
There is when you don't know how somebody's gonna fight, it does fuck you up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
where they're like, when they start doing that like capoeira, like wobbling. I'm like,
You
what is
fought a
that?
The
nigga
what? Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Let's see.
What's
let's
that
see it.
Brazilian dance fighting? What was that?
Capoeira. You fought
Capoeira.
somebody that broke out some
No.
capoeira on you? What the fuck are you talking
No, but
about?
I've seen videos on the internet of people like getting into a fight and then like somebody just squares up like normal and they just start doing this
Oh,
and then that guy's like, all right, I can't
and you
do this.
felt their fear.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
I'm
I was
like,
about to
oh,
say,
if,
I was
if
like,
you're doing this, I don't even know what you're gonna do.
Because they
Where's
made a
Steve
whole
going to
movie
Rio
about
de
that.
Janeiro?
Yeah, like Steve going down to Brazil.
I was doing cage fights in Rio. Yes, that was my
This
season
is
before.
Brazil out here
It's
on
in
your
Brazil.
type thing.
No, we had to do it in Baton Rouge. He was biracial. And
Why does that have to do
Why
with
is that
anything
why
in
do
the
you start
story?
with that?
because we didn't expect it from him.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And he would fight, and when he would fight, man, I hope he's still living. 'Cause niggas get killed. Like, somebody probably like
People
but
die every
I remember
day,
one
B.
time, like he would do like this.
That's his stance.
That's what he would do, and he would shake his shit, and
Like
we
this.
I remember he would literally he'd do his shit, and he would shake his fist around.
That's a
or
dance
whatever.
Kodak Black did
We
in that
out
one,
there, we
that
in
one
Barclay
video.
Place. Shout out to Barclay Place. We in Barclay Place in Baton Rouge, and I'm like, God damn, this nigga Jason about to get his ass kicked, and he starts whooping the hell out of this nigga.
With the
Wow.
stance like this.
Yeah, because he didn't know really what to do. You trying to get in there, and it was like boom, 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 rhythm punch, boom, boom, boom,
Rhythm-
boom, boom,
Rhythm punch.
He was getting
He's
off.
like he's throwing dice.
You didn't know what to do. You didn't know what to do. You guys, what's going on? And when I mean what's going on,
Yes, that is the question.
That's a good question.
That's very
when
good.
I say what's
For 3
going
years.
when I say what's going on, I mean, so Ocean made the same person. There's a versions on the planet.
Yeah.
Yes.
For a lot of the stuff that I've read and been keeping up with is somehow this story with Ocean May is going to lend itself to how Anakin Skywalker was born. Because if Darth Plagueis is in fact the creature in the cave,
Which what the fuck? Why?
we don't
It
know.
could be
But if Darth
anybody.
Plagueis is in fact the creature in the cave,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Then his ability to you guys, I'm not saying it was Darth Plagueis. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is the ability to create life in the Force. Skywalker, the creation of Anakin
Mhm.
Skywalker, could actually be the Force responding to the creation
Sure.
of Ocean and May.
It's the balance reset.
So I mean, all of this stuff is just because I watch too much Star Wars YouTube.
Oh yeah.
But what I'm saying is, what is the show trying to say with the fact that they are the same person? Now they are disconnected. May doesn't remember Osha. They've switched places.
Yes.
I think they thought that by the time they got to this point, that all of these revelations and things would be revelatory,
Yeah.
but they're kind of just confusing.
I mean, even
No, it is
I'm
because
saying-
no,
it is. You're right.
like the worst things that this finale did are member berries and feeding us into a season 2 that may or may not happen. But like, if you have Nosferatu in a cave that anybody doesn't know, like that could be anything. We don't know what that is.
Darth Jar Jar.
Sure. Oh man, I wish.
That'd be cool.
But if we don't know that, or if that's not like lent to anything, and it's just in minute 10 of your finale and never addressed ever again, I'm really bewildered as to what your goals are for like
Well, they obviously
wrapping the
think-
story
They
up.
obviously think there's going to be a season 2 because they set it up for it. I mean, they got to make it now.
Which
Yeah,
kind of
you know,
infuriates me because if you
really?
save
Yeah,
if you
they-
save
they
You
gotta
can't
make it,
you
they
can't
gotta
do
make
that.
it
You
now.
can't like tease like of
They have
Sith.
to. They have to make the season.
which
two.
to
And
me
then
is like the biggest annoyance that shows like this do, where I'm like, can you just tell an A to B story from one season and like sure you can tease something, but like have an actual like resolution, because I don't feel like this is resolved really.
Well, no, they left you on the cliffhanger.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
cliffhanger, I don't give a fuck about.
Okay,
I think that's fair. That's fair.
See, now that's the thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't necessarily trying to resolve the season. They were trying to, pull new threads for you. The question is, do you care? That's
Yeah.
the
Well,
thing.
because I think this was the moment where I was like, oh, they thought we were really going to care by this point. When Osha takes Soul's lightsaber, which is like metaphorically works because it's her old master's lightsaber. She never got to be a Jedi. She bleeds the crystal. I think they thought emotionally we would have been so invested in Osha's journey at this point that we're like, no, not Osha. And I'm like,
Wait, but you didn't. When she first showed them, that was fucking amazing.
Okay, that was pretty crazy.
The way they do it too, because you don't know who's doing it at first.
I
and
wanna
you
hear
think
Charles
it's
on
somebody
this.
else,
You don't,
and then
oh,
you
my
see it's
bad, Charles.
her.
Yeah,
So you
Mhm.
cut me off with my point last last episode. Now
had to,
this.
had to go.
What were you doing? Where'd you have to go?
Had to go do another podcast.
Well, we're here now.
I mean, they got on your ass.
They did.
They got on your
I
ass about the robe.
I apologize. Oh, what you mean? What do you mean about the robe? They
Wait,
like the
I
robe?
saw somebody on Twitter getting at you like, it's so disrespectful. You showing up in a robe to your.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna put my dick out next time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious, man. I'm serious. I'm sick of this shit. Like, I'm telling you, I'm sick of this shit.
You put your meat.
I'm sick of everybody. Look, I'm sick of this shit. Jomi, I apologize. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Let Jomi finish his point. But hey, man, I wear a robe on the podcast. Rachel has worn a robe on the podcast several times, and nobody has sit to show. I'm serious. I just feel like I'm a punching bag, and for no reason. Like, Alea, you remember when Rachel wore a podcast on Higher Learning?
A
A robe on Higher. She wore. Nobody said nothing. You know what they said? Oh my God, the robe looks so good on her. Yes, queen. And like, and for me, it's like, why don't you take your shit more seriously, motherfucker? Be a man.
This
Fuck
is
y'all.
literally the Lizzo and Rick Ross.
Flirting versus harassment.
Jomi, what were you saying, Jomi?
No, the way they do it in the episode is really cool because you don't know who's first choking her at first, and so Kamir, you pass him, and he's like, "Oh no!" And you think maybe it's Vanessa or some like or the evil guy, and you see it, and it's Osha, and she's got the finger, she's doing the first choke. I thought the way they did in the episode was pretty cool. I don't know if that moment meant something to me emotionally, but watching it, I was
affecting.
like, "That's pretty cool."
I really felt it because it was at a point where he was genuinely he seemed genuinely regretful about what he did, and was like, he said, last thing he says is, it's okay.
It is
like he understands.
Steve, you gotta
come on.
I made a joke about the cop shit, but now it's getting.
No, I'm not. I don't think he's saying that. It's getting
It's getting a little crazy now. He killed their mama.
I understand it. No. I'm not saying it's fine. I'm not saying it's fine. I don't condone mother murders. I don't condone that.
Oh, no, Soul. And then Soul turned to me. He's like, when you started the fire.
When she was choking him out, I was like, yeah, it's time for you to go.
Yeah,
you didn't like give me the lefty. Give me the lefty out the bullpen. It's time for you to go. But you didn't think the forced choke moment, that moment didn't. She forced choked him. She turned set. She bled the Kyber right in front of us. It didn't do anything.
That was great. Because it's a thing. Like I said, there's so much that this show gets right that it's like the Kyber crystal, the bleeding the Kyber crystal should be the moment where just for that character, for Osha, I am heartbroken. Oh, she's on the dark side. She wanted nothing more to be a Jedi. And at the moment, she has to kill her own master, a father figure, all this shit. I'm like, that should be an emotional gut punch.
I see what she's talking about.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, it was one of those,
something that happened.
Yeah, and it was cool. Like, I can't lie, I'm a Star Wars fan. So when the blade started turning red, I'm just like, there's that part of your brain, you're like, damn. But it didn't give, all right, perfect example. It didn't give me the feeling of like Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar, where it's like the fight is cool.
No, there's just so much history there.
It's
though,
like 3 movies.
No, but here's the thing. But here's the
really 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like so much history.
But how many episodes did we get? 10 of this?
Yeah.
8.
I agree.
At the end of the 8th episode, I'm not saying I need to feel like Mustafar is, to your point.
Yeah.
But I should feel a little bit like, damn, a little bit when Qui-Gon is killed by Darth Maul.
Okay.
I was like, even
that's
as
a good
kid,
example.
I was like, God damn.
Because that's actually a great example. Because even though that movie wasn't great, when Qui-Gon got killed and Obi-Wan had to watch him drop right there, you felt it.
And when McGregor is like, he's charging and he's mad, even as a kid, I was like, oh, he lost his master.
So mad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he loved this. And I didn't get that kind of emotional thing, because I even should have felt for Soul, even though like I'm glad he got God. I should have been like, damn, he went out like this, getting fork choked by his Padawan. I just didn't feel that.
I felt it a little bit, but yeah.
I mean, you know what else I did? Not only did I not feel this, can y'all explain this to me? What the fuck was this shit when May's like to Osha, what do you want? And then it
didn't work.
When Kamir's like, I can wipe her. I was like, oh, what?
I'm never I'm never on the side of just new shit in the last scene. I could wipe her mind and she won't remember nothing. I'm like, I don't know, nigga.
You may as well. No,
Like,
for real.
this-
Honestly,
this-
I don't want to
this-
live like that.
This theory's been around though. They mentioned it in
I
one of the
know.
episodes about like
Yeah.
wiping memories. And stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
This is not
but
new. It's not a new
here's the
thing.
thing. For May to agree essentially to get all of her memories wiped for her life, except when she was 8,
Mhm.
and then for Osha to be like, "Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what we should do."
That's nuts.
That's like, I'm like, why
Yeah.
didn't Osha just run away with May?
Or like, if they're really that evil, they'd have just killed her.
Who'd have just killed her?
I think wiping her memory is way better than killing her.
To not remember anything in your
I mean,
life.
it's-
well,
when you,
I
when you
mean,
were 8
well,
years
who-
old.
Wait,
evil.
wait,
That's
who
kinda
would have
nuts.
killed her though? The Jedi?
No, not the Jedi.
The
Stranger
stranger and Osha
and
kill
Osha would
May.
have killed her.
I don't know that. By the time we get to the end of the show, the stranger's motivations are completely unclear.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just be
A little
like-
bit.
Like
he was hot and he fought good with sabers.
So
That's it.
but I mean, we know that he wanted an acolyte. He wanted somebody to
Mhm.
train.
Yeah.
We don't quite know why.
You don't
Mhm.
know.
We
but
would have thought that senator who was basically giving an entire manifesto for the Sith in a senator's suit
yeah,
would have had
so,
something to do with
so
it. But no.
so we don't really know.
Season 2.
I don't think that. I mean, at the end of the reason why she doesn't kill her sister is because she loves her sister.
Yeah.
She doesn't kill her sister because she loves her. She
Then
doesn't want to kill her.
why
What, wipe her memory and effectively like lobotomize her till 8
wipe
years
her
old?
memory so that she can't lead. May allows Osha to make her decision. To your point, Charles, this is supposed to hit harder because she didn't let her do it when they were on Brenda.
Right.
The first time they were on Brenda. They were on Brenda this time too. May allows Osha to make her decision. Osha decides she wants to go. There's gonna be some force choking going on between her and
All right.
and
All
the
right,
stranger,
it's, all right,
too.
it's also nasty business.
I bet they
when
do
she,
it.
When she held the stranger's hand, I'm like, he just
It's
force wiped you.
no, it's no, because there's gonna be some force choking later on that night. Okay.
Do you think Plagueis is
That
just in the
night?
corner
I don't know
just
about that.
gooning?
That's a
He's
bad
just
day.
watching?
There's gonna be some
He's
force
like, yeah.
choke. It's like force choke me. Come over the room. They're gonna be doing a
Man,
little force choke, James.
Plagueis is just
Plagueis is gonna be
side.
on the other side.
Like,
What are y'all doing? He's gonna be force choking her. He loved black women. He like Robert De Niro of a galaxy far, far away.
Plagueis?
Not Plagueis.
Yo, man,
the stranger. The stranger. Robert De Niro
I know
never
ex-
saw
I'm
a black
familiar
woman
with
and
this
he didn't
game.
want to fuck.
I'm familiar
Like
with this
it's,
game.
he
He's
tried to
on.
get 2 of them. He literally went from sister. He like Future.
Oh,
He got
That's all right. That's a
2
wild
sisters.
comp, but
Space
no.
Bruh, he got 2 sisters, bruh.
Honestly,
trying
he
to
was
get
looking like
both of them.
Jalen Brown. Like at
Jalen Brown at the game. Soul is Bronny James.
I don't think.
12
I don't
kids.
think May's a pro.
I don't think
I don't think May's a pro.
I don't think May's a pro.
I don't-
Jalen Brown, bruh. Man, stand on that shit, bruh.
I
Stand
said
on
what
that
I
shit.
said.
Stand on that shit. Like I was talking to my girl. Ain't nobody asked you that, a camera up in my face. I just watched the dude go 0 for 9. Like, what I'm supposed to say? What I'm supposed to say? What if it would have? This is my thing about the Jalen Brown thing. What if he would have said? Because it could have been. What if he looked at her and said, "Yo, Bronny really putting the league on notice"? That would have been even crazier.
That
because
would've
everybody
led-
like,
that
what is
would've led
Jalen
sport-
Brown talking about?
That would have led Sports Center.
Yeah,
but to
Bronny
be fair,
did.
do you think he did it because also he's next to 2 baddies and he's like, damn, this nigga ain't shit. You know, that's some shit you.
This is my thing when people say that about the 2 baddies thing, and I'm gonna speak for myself. This is the thing. So they are 2 baddies, right? But I just want y'all to know that everyone that's talking about how Jalen Brown acts around 2 baddies, I want people to know you are not Jalen Brown. Like, the way you might act around a baddie is totally different than somebody who has $300 million and is the finals MVP.
Yeah.
He probably is a little bit less affected around the baddies than you might be. Y'all might. I'm just saying it's a little.
This is
it's,
fair.
I
You
don't
would
think
move
it's
different.
the same.
Then
shit.
why do you apologize?
He apologized because he got that clutch push. Somebody,
They made the call?
Yeah,
Someone made the
he got
call.
that
What do
clutch
you think made the
push.
call? Was it Rich Paul? Or
It
like
was,
after
it was definitely. It was probably Adele herself. Adele, because if Rich Paul really wanted to press you, he'd have Adele make the call.
Wow.
You get a call from a singing white woman. You don't know what is this Adele? Do you think you could be nicer to the young man, Bronny James?
It's an immaculate Adele impression.
That's a great Adele person. That's exactly how she sounds.
My name's Adele.
That's the way she sounded to me. Hey man, shout out to Adele, man. Adele, she got away from that. Adele came straight home, man.
Get
Shout out to Adele.
Star Wars is really good today.
Star Wars. shout out to Adele. Adele, one of us, man.
What?
Man, so I thought the episode did a really interesting thing where, because it did it in last week's episode and it did it in this week's episode.
When the revolution
When it
comes,
couldn't.
we're gonna have Adele like skinning rabbits.
Wow, we're not even.
We're gonna have Adele making venison jerky. You know what I mean? Adele gonna be out there
with the bed two knots.
Yeah, like after we go out hunting, after all of the information grids are gone, we're gonna come back hunting and we're gonna hear a voice singing. Oh, that's Adele. We know to go north. Like we unlike Adele gonna be with,
she's the siren.
Yeah,
she's leading the Underground Railroad. Like what?
That's what I'm talking about.
Jesus Christ! No, but seriously, the episode. I mean, and again, the episode their mother said the same thing last week. And the senator said it again this week. Basically the same thing, which is like what the Jedi are doing is going to lead to their downfall. They are like it's not as bad as the boys with their like whole thing, but it's very heavy-handed in the way the show's like the way you guys are acting now is why you guys fall.
Yeah.
Why
we can draw
Vader,
a straight line from this behavior now to episode 3.
Yeah, and again, I think we talked about it a little bit, but like we've never like the show was supposed to be like, oh man, the Jedi in their heyday, they're doing great things. The Jedi, I think, are always fallible. Like that's the thing we're learning. Like at no point,
Yeah, they've been fallible forever.
No. That's what I'm saying though. There is no man. The Jedi was out there, they was killing it, bro. Like every time we see him, it's like, oh, you're going worse and worse down until we hit Revenge of the Sith. Like, that's what it is ultimately.
Do you guys think the show betrayed itself a little bit by framing itself as a murder mystery and not quite living up to the billing
1,000%
of that expectation?
Definitely.
1,000%.
Talk about it, Steve.
Because it got me thinking. I'm like, it's all structure. I think my biggest problem with the entire show is structure. The way that episodes are ordered, the way information is delved out to the audience that we are meant to understand in certain ways only to be obfuscated or changed at the like 10-yard line when we're supposed to be worried about how other things are supposed to be resolved. It gets very frustrating because a lot of the things that get this that are doing well in the show constantly undercut it. And again, like you said before, it's trying to do too many things because when we had a murder mystery that was kind of compelling, it then immediately hit the brakes for a Jedi massacre that was like one of the craziest things we've ever seen. And our main villain is now giving us an entire indictment of the Jedi from a philosophical standpoint. Like, all right, great. Now we're off to the races. Stop. We're going to give you another flashback about what actually happened on Brendok. And Soul's going to not figure out who May is. Well, fuck. Okay, what are we going to do for the next episode? Well, we're probably going to do like skirt around the same thing again, but make sure that the Jedi that are now on their tail figure out the same information that you found out last episode. Okay, well, what about the finale? The finale is going to fix half of that and then tease something for a season 2 we don't know is going to be coming. It's all structure. If we had known certain things in better order and maybe we cut out half of this story and actually cook for the things that it was getting right, we'd have had one of the better shows in Star Wars history.
One of the funny, it's not really funny, but it's kind of funny, is when he's about to tell them that they're not actually twins, that they're just like one person's split in half.
Yeah.
And she socks him. And I'm like, I've been doing that all season.
I'm like,
Yes.
the episode begins with a conversation that if that conversation was just like 10 minutes longer, that could have replaced an entire episode prior.
10 minutes longer.
Yeah. If
You want a 10-minute
if the flashback episode of Brendok that was the episode prior, it ended up being like a 10-minute conversation of them just arguing back and forth about who saw like what happened when, that would have been A, more compelling, B, saved us an entire episode to watch.
Chuck, what you got before I start?
I mean, I would say this. I think because you kind of brought this up, I think the bones of this series are actually fascinating to me. The fact that you have 2 Jedi Masters at this point, Sol and Vernestra, both coming to terms with the fact that, like, oh, my student is the Sith or has turned bad, is compelling to me in a vacuum, because it's just like, oh, this is actually, that's the emotional thing. Like thinking about if you're the Jedi Master that raised up a Padawan that is threatening thousands upon thousands of years of this religion. And I'm just like, similarly to the murder mystery, it's interesting to me being like, what happens when a Jedi Master realizes that another Force cult created an entire person with something that your entire being with something that is the foundation of your religion. You know what I'm saying? That would be the equivalent of like you have Christian, Jewish, Muslim, whatever, and then one of them does something that is so miraculous, you're like, you start doubting everything you've been taught. I'm like, all of these are really, really interesting pockets, but you said it already. Those are all individual shows. When you try to sandwich all of that in it, I'm like, it's not really a murder mystery. It's not really a procedural. It's really not about like government politics and corruption. It's just kind of about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another thing that you just mentioned, I think is interesting to tack on a little bit is, I think it's interesting that the authority of the Jedi are challenged, right? The Jedi are making the rules about what's acceptable. Like, okay, you can't make Force life. You can't do that. The witches aren't allowed to do that. They aren't allowed to use the virgins on the planet, which I don't think was explained well enough.
Of course.
They're not allowed to use the virgins on the planet to create that life, right? But the Jedi can come take your kids whenever they want.
Yeah.
Right. So the Jedi are where we're supposed to be asking ourselves, in addition to everything else, it's like whose rules matter.
Yeah.
Because they're saying, hey, you can't do this, it threatens this. However, there are a lot of other things that we see them do, right? That we're wondering, well, I mean, just for us, like, you mean to tell me I'm in the house one day and my 1-year-old starts moving blocks around? I'm happy for him. I'm like, oh, good for you. You moving the blocks. Look at this little nigga go. He moving the blocks around and with his mind and everything like that. Hey man, we need your son. Fuck all that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like no. You can't have him. Now I gotta run, like I'm a gotta go get the taser. I gotta bam, 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 bam. I gotta hit you with that bitch. So we're seeing them come to terms with the fact that these witches, the witches themselves,
Nonsense.
well, this is what I'll say. The witches themselves, they represent, I guess, defiance of what the Jedi define as the natural order.
Mm-hmm.
They represent a different way. I'm not so sure if we learned enough about them to understand why all of this was such a big deal.
True.
Because you're not supposed to do it, but the Jedi do so many things that they're not supposed to do in response to something that the witches aren't supposed to do, that it kind of leaves you like, did they make a big deal out of nothing?
I mean,
almost?
even historically, the Jedi made a bunch of life. Maybe it wasn't the Force, but they made a bunch of fucking clones. So at a certain point, I'm just kind of like,
well, all our hands are dirty here.
Yeah, like I'm like, they're just like, hey, not only did you make a being with the Force, this person is actually one person, but they're two people. I'm like, you guys are explaining twins. Like, you are explaining twins and clones. Like, what is? I don't understand why it was such a big deal, to be honest, because also what I was confused about is I'm like, Osha and May aren't that powerful in the Force. We're told they are, but they don't do anything the entire series.
They're pretty powerful.
Outside of,
I mean,
they were
Yeah,
fucking
they-
up with
they-
Chimera.
they're pretty powerful. I
Yeah.
mean,
But what did they do in this series to show me?
well,
that-
she bled that Kyber.
She
and
bled
then-
the Kyber
she
and she
choked him,
and she
remember,
choked him. Like at the end, she intuitively taps into the dark side.
She
and
was
starts
already
using,
a Padawan.
No,
but-
but remember, she hadn't used her power in a minute.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
He's like, I think it was episode 6. Like, hey, you've been out of practice, all that witch and witch.
Motherfucker, Luke was 15, 16. And
yeah,
he
but
was
she
a
had been through the motion. She had formally trained as a Jedi, and
Luke's
like
Luke's
didn't pass.
Luke is pretty strong. Like,
Mhm.
Luke's
No,
grandfather
but that's
is
what
the
I'm
Force
saying.
itself.
We got to see Luke do strong shit. I didn't get to see Osha do any. You're like, she bled a Kyber crystal. I'm like, to be a Sith, all these motherfuckers.
No.
After some time, you know what I mean? Like after some time, you bleed the crystal. You don't do it on the first day. After some time, it's
So we're saying that the only way I'm supposed to intuit that she's strong with the Force, besides characters telling me, is that she
nigga. They
force
said
choked-
she was strong. Nigga, deal with it. I'm sick of your shit.
She's. I mean, they
Also that
Episode
that
7
stuff with the helmet that she just did to Chimera was like pretty nuts.
she's pure Force. I don't know.
She ain't do no pure Force shit.
What you
She
want
did the witch thing to Chimera in this episode.
I'm asking Charles, like, what you
If
you
you
feel like
are
they
a
should have sold it
being,
more?
like,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
get it.
I can tell that Anakin is a being of the Force because he's flipping over shit. He's entire
So you wanted her
fucking-
to be like a Damien
You want-
Omen kid?
Yeah,
just,
like,
killing-
I
all
wanted
right.
one because he's like, because here's the thing, Kamir is like, May don't got it, Osha, you got it. And I'm like, wait, Osha, show me that you have
Play
it.
the music. Play the music. Play music. It's interesting. You and Anakin,
So,
Anakin
yeah.
and Luke do it. It's crazy. It's cool.
Wow.
But when women do it,
women do it. It's
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
hey,
nuts.
not with women.
black women do it.
Wow.
All right, when you guys are done, can I?
Wow.
can I finish?
No.
No,
We're,
that's-
no.
No,
we're
when
gonna,
when
no,
you guys are
said
done,
it.
can
no,
you
but
let me
we're not.
finish?
We're not gonna. The question is, we're not gonna be done. We're not gonna be done till you've changed.
So
Okay,
what
wait,
I
wait,
think
wait,
is
no,
interesting.
no.
What I think is
What
interesting.
you're doing is you're overpowering
No,
us now. As
No,
we're
but what
telling
I
you
think
about
is
it.
no. What I
You're like-
what did
you're-
I say?
you're-
Honesty to the
you're-
electorate right
you're,
now.
You're
What I
overpowering
think
us.
is
we're trying to come to
interesting-
you and tell you that what you just did was talk about how the white man shows his power.
So you're
A
telling
sister
me
shows her power.
you're telling me
What you
that
want-
we can
you-
have white men throughout the history of Star Wars
Uh-huh.
doing dope ass shit,
Mhm.
flipping over people, fucking cutting down all armies, and I'm like, damn, it would be nice for Amanda to get to do some of that.
A
shit.
sister bleeds the copper crystal's not enough for you.
I would like to see her
Chokes
do
him-
some dope
She
shit.
chokes
choke
a man out.
somebody not enough for you. What you want to start torturing?
Would I like her to be as much of a
Like,
superhero
like
as
what-
the other people?
But
Yes.
what is she? What you wanted to do? Get it sexy? Huh? Ice Spice?
She can't. She
What-
can't fight Kamir.
She.
Why would you do that? They on the same
They
team.
in the same squad.
Kamir is literally like, if you don't come with me, I'ma kill your sister. He should be like, bitch. And
By
like,
the way, I'll tell you, Kamir is a very good fuckboy.
Who's,
It
who's
meant literally,
babe,
come
who
here.
is that on your phone? Oh,
Literally,
it's just
li-
Kamir.
Literally, come here. Literally, think about his name. It's literally
Come
come
here.
here.
It's Kamir.
Like that's the type of shit you tell
here.
a girl. And what's your name? Come here. What's your name? Come here. No, it's my name for real, girl. Because my daddy knew that's why I was. gonna be
Alea's
telling
laughing because if Major Jacinto did that to her, it'd be working. It would work. It would work.
Daddy knew that I was gonna tell you. to come
honestly,
here. He
if
was
we're
gonna
being
come here.
real,
I'm come here, girl. Come here.
Kamir.
If he was
Dan,
from-
you was
if
you
he was
was
from
on
LA,
Kamir shit
if
with
he was-
the bathrobe.
If he's from
to be
LA,
honest.
this is how I would stand. This is how from niggas from LA stand.
Oh,
They
bro.
say- like they stand like this. Hey, girl, come here, all of that, and they throw it up. Anyway, it's so. No, I get what you're saying. Because this is a show that displays a lot of force powers. I do think at the end, what we were supposed to see, if it didn't work, it didn't work. I'm serious. What we were supposed to see was that she intuitively displays a force skill, a dark side skill, but a force skill that she hadn't been taught. Like she intuitively does it. She intuitively bleeds the crystal. It's similar. I'm not saying the same thing because this character is definitely a character that they went out of their way to demonstrate her power. It's similar in a little bit to Rey. Everything that Rey did in Force Awakens was intuitive.
Yeah.
It was reflexive. She didn't even know what she was doing. Like she naturally resists Kylo Ren, right? She naturally does this. She doesn't even know what she was doing. The Force, she was so her strength was so raw that it's like, oh my God. Now they did do a better job, to your point, of letting us see that. I think they were trying to do that at the end with Osha, shall I say, and maybe they just, to be honest with you, didn't do a good enough job of selling it. Maybe they didn't. All right, guys, let me ask you this. Last talking point before we get out of here. By the way, pew pews in the chat. Pew pews in the chat.
You can't let him have this kind of power, guys.
Pew pews
You
in
really
the
can't.
chat. We want to see him, guys. Pew pews.
watch-
in the
you
chat.
watch
If
Tyson
Ben
Net?
can make
You be
people
watching
do
Tyson
things,
Net?
he'll make them
I've
do.
been watching some of that stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't do a lot of social shit. I would like to do that, like Miles Morales shit, when he starts like yelling at people. Like,
Oh, I thought you meant the apology
a
video. It's like,
TikTok.
listen, I made a mistake.
We do the
Apologize.
TikTok stuff where
Yeah.
you just like being an MCC. Oh my God, dude.
That's a bad crash out. That was really bad.
You got a lot of money.
I show Speed that dude crash out. He be crashing out. He funny.
You crash out all the time. That's just whole
That's-
thing.
Funny. I
they make
that
him
shit.
like love him more.
Like, bro,
He just
funny to
yells
me,
at
bro.
people.
He be like just going around. I might start doing that type of shit.
Please don't.
put it
NPC
on-
stream?
Nah, I got it.
I want
no.
to do that IRL shit.
I don't. But here's the thing: I don't like because he be going to another country and just start doing backflips. I'm like, just don't start doing backflips for everybody. Like, just
Some of them other countries woke that motherfucker up. He was trying to buy that car from that guy. That guy was like, "Did you see that?"
Yeah, I saw that.
And he was trying to buy that car from that guy. That guy don't know how much money I Show Speed got. He was looking at I Show Speed like he was I Show Blackie. Like he didn't know how much money he had. He'd never seen it before. I showed Niglet.
Can
and
we
he-
get
all
to
right,
the
all
midnight
right,
meter?
Midnight meter,
All
please.
right, well, before we get to the midnight meter,
Okay.
they're obviously they want to do another season of the Acolyte. The story, it ends with our story ends with we see Master Yoda. We see a new connection made between a master and apprentice. We see a lot of threads that are untied. We're going to do the midnight meter in a different way. Okay. Let's do midnight meter rating of how much you want season 2 of the Acolyte.
No.
Oh boy.
No. Because that's gonna be more negative.
Yeah, let's.
That's gonna
What do you
be
mean? We're gonna do it.
We gonna do it both ways?
Yeah, we do it both ways.
Okay.
We
Okay.
do it both ways.
Okay.
Scale
Like,
from 1 to 12.
no scale 1 to 10, just 1 to 10.
1 to 10 for our want.
How interested are you in another season of the Acolyte?
Here's the thing: if they can fix Masaria in season 2 of House of the Dragon, I feel like they could probably take notes about what we liked about the Acolyte. I really do like. I think it just justified its existence. I really think so.
Okay.
That show's got great ideas, and I really like to see them like come to fruition.
Mhm.
But a showing like this, like me wanting a second season, like it's 50-50. It like I would give it a 5.
Okay.
Like I could take it or leave it.
Johnny?
Really.
If to Steve's point, if they look at the feedback, they go to their year-end review, and they like
Charles
yo,
is exhausted,
Charles
guys.
is disgusted.
and they look at all the cool like, all right, hey, this was cool, hey, this is
Mhm.
whack, don't bring this back. You know what I'm saying? They do all the cool
Tell a
stuff.
story in order, maybe.
Yeah, they do.
I
they do
love
the
that we
cool
live, so
stuff.
motherfuckers can see
I'm not
right
lying.
now.
I like
y'all
some of the
just
stuff they
flip-flop.
did.
Yeah.
If they just continue to do that stuff, yeah, it's probably like a 6. Like I'll be there.
Chuck?
Mhm.
Bro, they lucky I don't give it a 0, like a 2. It's
A 2.
Here's the thing. I don't know if this costs like what $250, to make
Johnny,
probably
look it up. How much did it cost?
To make this whole show?
I just
Yeah, to make the show.
Oh, boy.
let's just donate it. And here's the thing. I will say like
donate it.
and here's the
Now we're
thing.
just getting
This
into
guy-
all right.
What?
This guy is something else, man.
No, here's the thing.
Like,
Donate it to who?
Huh?
you know what would be funny? It would be funny if there was a boys' home somewhere and the Disney came around and Disney was like, look, we was gonna make a second season of Acolyte, but we're not gonna make it.
It cost $180 million.
Here's $180 million.
That's
for the home.
projected.
Yeah.
That's not fully reported.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I just respect to everybody who made this. There were a lot of great highs, but it's a 2.
Okay. I'm going 6 as well.
Mhm.
And now we go to the midnight meter. Oh yeah, daddy. So the midnight meter is a scale from 1 to 12. 1 to 10 is the meter. 11 and 12 being reserved for game changes.
Pivotal, essential.
Pivotal, essential stuff. I'll start.
Okay.
6.
Okay.
6 on the meter.
Mm-hmm.
6 in anticipation. 6. Could have been the finale. Was a good finale.
That was the decisive
Yes.
episode.
Yeah.
The finale
Mhm.
was a good finale.
Yes.
It was so close to being a 7. It was really close to being a 7, but I, in good conscience, cannot give it anything more than a 6.
Yeah.
It's very close to being a 7. I'd say that.
I-
6.9.
I would really have to give it a 6 because again, like some of the greatest like lightsaber battles I've ever seen, and as far as ideas are concerned, it like they're there. When the show hits, it really fucking hits, and it makes me so sad because if this really like capitalized on its potential, this could have been one of the greats, and unfortunately, it's a 6 for me.
Yeah, I really want to give a 7 because again, the stuff that worked, like the lightsaber fights, like the choreography, is just fantastic. It's just some of the stuff. Like I'm gonna in a couple weeks, I'm gonna go on YouTube and watch them. I'm not going back to Disney Plus for all that, but at the end of the day, the stuff that didn't work, like really, really didn't work.
Yeah.
And so like I can't give it anything more than a 6. Charles, it's your turn, buddy.
All right, so
Change,
there's
shock
a
the
little
world.
something that I learned in my childhood in my household about integrity. Okay, homesmen can't be bought. We stand for what's right.
Right.
Leslie Headland
Who you
and co
grandstanding
did
for?
did a wonderful
No, this
job
is the punditry. This is
on
the pageantry.
you know, like you guys have all said, some of the most amazing fights we've seen. Great actors. Manny Jacinto is a star, deserves more roles. There was a lot of beautiful things about this season, but like I said, Coke Baby can't be bought, and with that, there's a 4 out of 12, guys.
Oh wow.
You should
Okay.
be-
All
4
right.
out of 10. 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10, and you guys should be disgusted that
We should be discussing.
We should be
that you
discussing.
guys are lying
Okay.
on live.
Wow.
Why can't we, can I ask you a question? Why can't we have our opinion?
Why should we be ashamed of what we said?
We're in the pocket of Michael Mouse.
Yeah.
Christ alive. Kathleen Kennedy cut the check,
Mhm.
apparently, for the Acolyte. Be for real.
Guys, it's over.
tough.
The Acolyte is over.
Woo!
Hey, we're
Wrap it
one,
up, everybody on live. Thank you so much for tuning in.
yo, the summer of content, man. We're one show down.
Yeah, we're one show down. First show out of here is Acolyte. The boys finale is hates his job. Boys,
Boys job.
boys finale is on Thursday.
Yeah.
We will be back with the finale of the boys on Thursday. You guys, I'm telling you, it's going down tomorrow at the El Rey Theater. Down. Down. It's like a down.
You're
Tomorrow at the El Rey. Are you wearing a Beyonce t-shirt?
Yeah, it's from the
a little
from
bit
the
of a
Renaissance
pick-me.
tour.
A little. It's this.
that's
this
Will
is-
activist stuff.
It's-
Like
What are you
that.
talking
gross.
about?
That's
It's just,
Hey, tell us about your.
gross,
No,
bro.
hold on.
Wait, how did you just notice that? I walked in front of you for
Time
like
out,
half the
time
day.
Time out, Steve, please, Steve Patrick Allman. Tell us about your time at the Beyonce concert.
It was the second greatest concert I've been to.
All right.
So, like, where'd you go? Like, who'd you go with? Like,
It
what
was
the thing?
in Levi Stadium, Bay Area.
Oh, okay.
Great friend Valentina had a great
shout
time.
out. Okay, cool. What was your favorite Beyonce song she played that night?
It was actually a medley of some
All
of the
right,
older
let's go.
songs that she
Let's
played.
go.
Okay, no,
From
no,
the,
no.
what is this? A fucking pop quiz
It's
that you need
fine.
that I need to qualify
I'm just
this?
interested in your Beyonce takes. I didn't know that you were, like
Here's my
Sasha
take.
Fierce?
Great artist.
You part of the Beehive?
No, not really. I went to a Beyonce concert and had a great time.
I mean, you bought a shirt, so obviously you're
Yeah.
kind of a fan, though.
Yeah.
You don't just buy merch of random people. You know what I'm
Wrap
saying?
this up. It's obviously
What's the point you're gonna make? Are
Steve's
you-
doing activist shit? It just
I
it's
just
fine.
wanted to,
It's
get it from the man himself.
Right.
Crazy. Where's your Taylor Swift shirt at?
wow.
I know you got some.
I
All right.
wasn't at the
All I was
Renaissance.
saying was that there's going to be a live show tomorrow.
we're looking for. If
At
you
the
look
El
forward
Rey
to this
Theater.
and more.
Okay. You guys come out to the El Rey Theater. What is it? Ringer.com
Tomorrow.
slash events for more info. Come out there. We'll hang out. Jomi's giving out hugs tomorrow. Come.
Giving out.
Jomi's giving out hugs.
What? To who?
It's the hashtag today.
Hashtag.
Like you wait for it.
Oh, okay. Jomi giving out hugs. Jomi giving out hugs
Who
tomorrow.
said that?
Yes.
I just want to be very
He's
clear.
hugging everybody.
I mean, maybe, but probably not.
Maybe.
Maybe. Wow.
We got him to a maybe
Oh,
in
it's
10
somebody.
seconds.
Every Tuesday and Thursday, the House of R will be deep diving the House of the Dragon and Acolyte. Every Monday, the Midnight Boys will be giving you our reactions to Hot D, which is heating up. How many more episodes of House of
3 more.
3 more?
Yeah.
3 more. 3 more. Thursday, we'll be back for the Boys Season 4 finale. Every Sunday, Talk the Thrones will be up right after the latest episode of Hot D ends. Our producers are Steve the Architect Allman, Old Man Isaiah Blakely. Back in my day, whippersnapper. We had I'm from Boston. You ever heard of? Yeah, I know you love LeBron. You ever heard of Bill Russell?
But you ever heard of Bob
You
Cousy?
ever heard of Bill Russell? Now, y'all talk about the greatest of all time. Let me tell you something about Bill Russell. Bill Russell, he won 11 championships. Huh?
I'm sorry. Is Isaiah in the room with us right now?
Bill
Wow.
Russell won 11 championships. They had a what the old boy from Philadelphia? What was
It's
his name?
8:30.
Old
Let's
boy from
go,
Philadelphia.
bro.
They called him Will Chamberlain. He was called the Big Dipper.
Bro.
The Big Dipper.
Same Bill
They
Russell,
called
by
him
the
the
way,
Big Dipper.
Yep.
who got his jersey
And
retired.
he
in
couldn't
an
do
empty
nothing with Bill
stadium.
Russell though. Bill Russell.
Legend.
Alea no nicknames in Daenerys.
Just move
And-
past that.
Corey the Music Man McConnell.
Can we keep up with better?
Jomi the Explainer Twitter on social. Hashtag turn this house into a Joan.
Ooh.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Additional production from The Watcher, Arjuna Ramgopal. Chuck, take us out.
Steve loves to pander. The Acolyte was a bore. I'll never lie to the people because this fucking show was a foe.
We out, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.